Hello and welcome back to the Final Whistle podcast. My name is Harry McBain and joining me today, as usual, is Bobby Addison. So we are back live. You should be able to hear both of us. I know there's a little bit of lag between us and the stream, but we are here. We are ready to try and make sure this works. So, Bobby, we're 75 minutes into the game. From what you've seen so far, what have you thought?
Well, it sort of turned out exactly how I thought it would have turned out, to be honest. Matthew said earlier in chat that they're both going to attack decently, but it was probably going to be Liverpool's defence is going to crumble because obviously they're not as good. And obviously they were saying in a match, Fabinho and Kabak is Liverpool's 20th centre-back pairing of the season, which it's pretty mental, to be honest. Obviously, we got Adam in the chat now. He's probably not going to be too happy about how it's going in a minute.
And the brilliant news is we can hear you, so that's brilliant.
No, that's good. That's good.
But anyway. So
if off quite well.
Werner nearly just Werner nearly just scored. I think. Yeah, Alisson.
Oh, really?
Brilliant save. Wait, Adam.
I'm gonna have to get the thing up.
So, Bobby, what did you make of that chance in the first half with Werner?
Oh man, it's so stupid. Like, it's this like rule of shirts. I mean, Andy Robertson, it almost looked like he was going to cost them a goal because obviously he was like really close to keeping them onside. But it's just so stupid. I mean, I don't know if they need to change the rule with a shirt because it just doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, why would they? That amount of like tiny thing. I mean, I know you have to play by the rules, but it's just killing the game and checking things to that amount of. I'm so he's not happy. Yeah, I'm surprised. Checking things to that amount of like detail is just stupid. And I think Werner does actually really well to get the ball past Alisson. Obviously, Alisson is, as you said before, that Emmanuel Neuer just rushed out. I don't know why he keeps doing that recently. Yeah, I mean. It's unfortunate. I mean, I'm sure they'll be glad that they got a goal back, to be honest, because they really deserved it.
And Ashley Cole said at half-time he thinks the rule should be changed. It's a natural thing to have his arm pointing out for the ball.
Exactly.
Dan said, "Why do you think Klopp has taken Salah off?" Bobby, what are your? I'll hand it over to you.
I have no idea. Mane looked really poor.
Definitely.
Firmino looked like he was giving nothing, like he usually does. I mean, he had in the 62nd minute, he had a little cross from Robbo, and then he had a glancing header. There's, a bit of a nothing chance, really. But yeah, I don't know why he's taking Salah off. He didn't look too pleased about it when he came off either.
Yeah.
But he says VAR is good. Alisson been saved by VAR. I mean, you got a point, yeah.
I was just going to say they've just they're bringing on, in just a second, they're bringing on James Milner. I don't know who. I would presume you'd either go Wijnaldum or Thiago. Wijnaldum's been really... It's been really strange. He's looked really tired. That's what Carragher's been saying. Is he looks like he doesn't have any desire to run anywhere really. He looks like he's not got as much pace as he usually does. So it wouldn't be surprised if I see him brought off. But what I was going to say about Thiago is he's not had a great time so far in Liverpool. Everyone thought when he was signed he was going to be like quite a good midfielder for them and maybe complete their team because he was so excellent last year at Bayern. What have been your thoughts on him so far this season?
I mean, I have to be honest, I haven't watched him that much. From what I have seen, Adam's Happy Meal's gone. But yeah, from what I have seen, he's been, not nowhere near as good as he's looked last season. I mean, that could be based on the fact that, at Bayern Munich, he had some solid centre-backs behind him. I know it is making excuses, but with Van Dijk, arguably, I think he probably would have been a fantastic player. He would have played really well. But I think without him there, it's really looking like he just can't perform much. And I think I also sort of changed my opinions on Curtis Jones because I really thought he was a bit of a nothing player. I just thought he was hyped up by Liverpool because he's only the youngster they have. I never knew he was more of a DM. I thought he would be more of an attacking midfielder, but he's got a good pass on him. But I just think he's not got that spark that I would like to see from players like Foden, Mason Mount, Bukayo Saka. Obviously, probably the best youngster in the league, but a little bit biased from me there. And would Dan say, do you think Gerrard will replace Klopp, or is that a rumour?
I think he will replace him when Klopp leaves. it's just a matter of when that happens. I was just going to say, Chelsea have just brought off Mason Mount for Mateo Kovacic, obviously just sitting back now, I think. Holding the lead for the last 10 minutes, and Milner did replace Thiago, so...
he did? That's interesting.
Obviously, he believes that Wijnaldum can do a bit more. Chelsea have kind of got the ball here. Oh, Werner, oh dear, he's just fallen on the floor.
Yeah.
If we go back to the first half, and we said there about Alisson coming out, he just made a good save there. Alisson coming out, he's done it in a few games. The biggest mistake was at Leicester, when obviously Vardy took it and him and Kabak, and it was just awful.
Yeah.
What do you think is the reasoning behind him coming out? Do you think it's maybe something that Klopp's told him to do, or do you think it's just him thinking he's much better than he is at the moment?
I don't know. It's probably because, like, obviously he's not trusting his back line. I think everyone in the team has just lost trust in each other. You know, like that team dynamic is gone, because obviously we saw a lot in the first couple minutes of the game, the first 20-ish minutes. Chelsea were really just getting balls over the top, you know, over the high line, and it was working for them. Obviously, Kante is not always the best passer. Obviously, he's more known for his stamina, his tackling, his energy. But obviously, he's picked a lovely ball over to Mason Mount, as Matty said here in the chat. And, you know, Mason Mount is a fantastic player. You know, he's got on the edge of the box, got a nice sort of shot away, and obviously, they've been punished by that.
And I think... what they can offer as a goalkeeper, Alisson. We saw last season, especially his talent, and the only reasoning I can think that he keeps coming out is that maybe he's been doing it because he feels that's what's the right thing to do in that situation. But when you've continually done it and made mistakes, you would think you'd stop doing it unless you're being instructed to do it. So.
Yeah. We got a good comment from Robbie there as well, actually, saying he's been through a lot, obviously, with the bad mistakes, and obviously his dad unfortunately passed away, and obviously he's trying to get his confidence back up, and he's trying to do things. Right.
The only thing about that is, obviously, I can accept mistakes today because of that, but the Leicester game was before his dad died, and that was very poor judgment. I think he did it again another game before his dad sadly died. So it's a bit of an iffy one, but I did kind of think before the game started I'm going to try and let him off a bit today, because obviously
it's not great. I don't know what Adam's saying. Can we get an obviously counter for Bob? What does that mean? If you could let us know, that'd be great.
I'm trying to think. When you said there about the goal from Mason Mount, I must say last night when I was watching Barca Sevilla, there was an amazing goal. It was Ousmane Dembele. It was like edge of the box, like outside the box, just into the top hand corner. It was pretty cool. I don't know. I think I'd quite like to see him in the Premier League. Obviously, he was linked with Liverpool. But that was just me going on a tangent. But we said earlier when we were saying about Salah being brought off and Mane playing poorly. Obviously, in the first half, he had that really bad fluff up where he just kind of got his legs in a tangle in the box. What was your reaction to seeing him mess up that?
What was that for Mane, did you say?
Yeah, Mane.
Yeah, because I presume you're referring to the one where it was like at the 27th, they put like a ball over the top into the box.
Yeah, and
Mane goes for the shot and he's messed it up. I mean, that's probably it's probably down to confidence, to be honest. Like, he's not got the I don't know, the confidence to finish it. You know, so on another day, they'd have a classic centre forward like Chelsea doing, like Giroud or Abraham, to finish it. But obviously, we've seen quite interesting seeing a game where both the teams don't really have a dedicated number 9. You know.
Yeah, there was just a good chance there for Liverpool. It came in a corner and it was a bit of like a scuffle. It had gone out and then it come back in, and it's Firmino. Ooh, Kabak very nearly tapped it in. It's into the gloves of Mendy. There was basically Firmino coming along the touchline, crossed it in across the face of goal, and I think it was Reece James and Ben Chilwell. Reece James got a little deflection and Kabak came to strike it, but
Liverpool, lovely.
Chilwell got rid of it. So another bit of frustrating time there. Dan saying, what is wrong with Liverpool at the minute? Do you think it is confidence, solely confidence? I thought as well earlier when I was watching them in the first half that they might have a case of Premier League championitis, because obviously Chelsea had it a few seasons ago when they won it. Leicester had it the season after they won. Obviously Man City
and Arsenal had it for about 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think that's...
So, I just need to accommodate for Big Yappo's question. Firmino replaced by Tony, I think that's a fantastic idea. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'd love to see Tony out of that Brentford squad.
Yeah, I mean, that depends. Are they going to get Premier League football? Are they going to do it? We'll never know.
I mean, I'd rather not play them, so if they go up, yes. Let's do it. But yeah, go back to the question. What do you think is wrong with Liverpool at the moment?
I mean... As I said a little bit earlier in the stream, but probably no one heard me because obviously it wasn't working. But, after that, the game against Watford last season, I think that was probably quite a big turning point. Because obviously by then, Liverpool had sort of run away with the league anyway. But I think the change in mentality from like the season before, when they were really close to Man City, they're obviously like drilling really hard. They can catch up with Pep. Obviously, they're playing really good football. And in the first half of 2019-20, they're playing really well. And I think after that game, they just had that switch off. They knew they were going to win the league anyway because they had so many points. And I think, after that happens, they lost the drive in the team. And it was obviously not entirely for like then until now because they're still a decent team. I mean, they're just going really bad form at the minute. But I think it's just that like after now they've won the Champions League, they've won the Premier League, and maybe a lot of the players have got out of it what they wanted. I mean, Wijnaldum obviously said looks a little bit disinterested and he looks like he maybe wants to leave. I think he was trying to get moved to Barcelona in the summer, but it actually never happened.
He's out of contract in the summer, I think, as well. So it's a big
he'll probably end up going then. Might be a good thing for Koeman because obviously he's got that Dutch connection.
Yeah,
Dan's just said their replacement for Firmino. Not really sure.
I mean, if you look at the Premier League top goal scorers, you've got Jamie Vardy. He's not going to go to Liverpool. He's going to stay at Leicester. Obviously, Ings has got a few goals, but he won't go back to Liverpool, will he?
So I doubt that.
It's a really tough one. Obviously, they've got Ryan Brewster, but have they sold him permanently, or was that a loan?
He's gone.
Permanent, wasn't it? I was going to say
they got like 20 odd mil for him.
Yeah. So I think they'd have to go out into the market. Adam's saying he thinks it's because of the injuries, having Fabinho and Hendo out of position, with a weak link. To be fair to Fabinho, he's been very good in defence as centre-back today. Not all the time, but today.
He's been alright.
My live stream of the game has just kind of crashed a little bit, so...
Oh, lovely. Robbie says Firmino's been Liverpool's best player this game. I don't really know. I don't know if I could agree with that. I hate to break it to you, Robbie, but... Ivan, let's go, man.
Yeah, bring on Ivan Tony. I was just going to say... I don't know whether you saw Adam put a comment earlier up with last minute equaliser ? I was just going to say I was really hoping that to get a goal here because I really want to do a soccer Saturday and have as their goal at Anfield Chris Kamara and instead of going I don't know Jeff I do know because it's in front of me but it's not.
I mean to be fair, I'd actually love a late minute equaliser because in terms of us, I mean, I know we're 10th. Everyone can put that in the chat and, say how you're 10th or whatever. But all the teams at the minute, like, in that sort of category, I'd rather they just drew because I'd rather they both get one than we get. One of them gets 3 and one of them gets none,
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is another thing for me needs to be replaced. It's really weird how Liverpool, like, they came up and got good on a system that doesn't really require a solid striker because obviously they say he's a... what the bloody was, Regista, centre-back, centre-forward, centre-mid, striker, left-wing, right-winger player that does all these things. Adam, to your strongest centre-mids, you got the best centre-mid in the world. That's very true, Robbie. Thiago, better than the world. Anyway, I was just saying, it's weird, like, they can't really replace Firmino because apparently their whole team is based on, like, not having an actual striker,
It was also be weird, I think, if you look at the way Liverpool are happening in the transfer market, especially in January, with their so-called lack of funds, I think they're better off sticking with Firmino because unless they sell him for a lot of money, you're not going to get anyone in that could. What Alisson's just come out again. He did get the ball, which is fair enough, but it's like, bruh. But yeah, if you look at the market out there, the strikers that you'd think Liverpool should be targeting to be like the best in the world would be someone like Mbappe, which isn't going to happen because if they can't afford a good centre back and you have to go into the Championship, then there's no way you're going to afford a top quality striker. So I think they're better off sticking with Firmino for now, maybe until they get a bit more money somehow or whenever that happens.
Yeah, and I think there's also the argument that like maybe they didn't spend loads of money on centre backs just because they didn't want to overcommit to like a really good one, because they were obviously optimistic that Gomez and Van Dijk will be back in the near future. You know.
I'm just reading Adam's comment about how last season their midfield was strong. There was Hendo, Fabinho and Wijnaldum, two of these who needed to adapt to a different position. I do think that that's a very strong point. But when you look at it, look at other clubs. We say Man City, yes, they've got a strong bench, so I'm not going to include them in the conversation.
I think Leicester's a good example.
Leicester's a better example. You look at them, they've got so many players out. And Brendan Rodgers is not standing in like post-match interviews moaning about the fact he's got players injured or the fact that he's got no fans. It's just I think that's what annoys me about Klopp, is the fact that he's turning into prime Jose, making up a million excuses as to why they're not winning. Havertz is just coming on, by the way, for Timo Werner.
That's what made Klopp likeable before, him sort of taking it on the chin and, you know,
he could
getting on with when
he could laugh it off.
Yeah.
But he's coming out with all these excuses. He even said the other day that all about the title celebrations last year and how he saw all this unfairness because they couldn't celebrate with everyone, and they probably never will get to. I don't think that the fans would really care that much as long as they've won the Premier League title. It's obviously Klopp lost his mother as well, sadly, to COVID, and he hasn't been able to see her, so he's obviously having a hard time. But when it comes to the injuries and the excuses for the poor performance, it's just really a bit of a joke, and he needs to definitely look at Brendan Rodgers for an example.
Yeah.
He just goes, well, yep, we've got injuries, we've managed to get on with it, we lost to Arsenal, but you know, we move on.
Get in.
So.
Yeah, I mean they have had a lot. I can't remember if I know. Obviously they had Jamie Vardy out. He had like a surgery on his groin or something. He doesn't really seem what's the word, like the same as himself. He's got like 1 in the last 11, I think. And then obviously Harvey Barnes got injured. If you watched the Final Whistle live news episode posted last Monday in the channel videos. But anyway, yeah, I digress.
Daniel has just put in the chat, Timo Werner goal was offside as he was pointing to where he wanted the ball. This happened to other players this season. I think this offside rule is becoming a bit of a joke. So we mentioned this earlier. Yeah, I think it's time that they change it. I think at the end of the season, we will tell you now, we have kind of got a interview lined up later, probably at the end of the season, with a referee, a Premier League level referee. Sorry, I won't say who, but hopefully we can talk to him then about what he thinks about who's, you know, whether the rules need to be changed. But I just wanted to point that out. And Robbie said Liverpool don't get enough penalties like United, so it's understandable they aren't winning. Yeah, it's a good point. That it's just unfair bias. Clearly, Man United is just getting all the penalties. Klopp is stood on the touchline right now. There's about 10 seconds left with his grumpy face on.
And Dan's just put in the chat, who's better, Mendy or Alisson? I presume you mean the goalkeepers, obviously. Yeah. I think even form-wise, Mendy's been better recently, but overall, Alisson's won a Champions League, Alisson's won a Premier League, so Alisson is a better goalkeeper.
Yeah, if you're looking at this match, though, I would say...
Yeah, Adam said exactly that in the chat.
Mendy way better. He's been very commanding with his box. He's coming out to collect balls, but I think that's also the solid defence. I've been really impressed, not going to lie, about how good Chelsea have been set up by Tuchel since he's arrived, and especially today. They
look very good.
Pressed really well against the team that literally are known for being good pressers. They're pressing now. There we go, full time, 1-0 to Chelsea.
Unlucky, Adam.
Nice try, Thomas Tuchel has got his first win at his first attempt at Anfield, which is really impressive.
Oh, nice.
I think I saw earlier Dan put a comment, I can't remember whether we acknowledged it or not, was that do we think both Chelsea and Liverpool will be in Champions League spots come the end of the season? I'm just going to say here, Klopp's now moaning to the fourth official. Not sure about it, but he's been moaning.
Of course he is.
But yeah, Bobby, do you think they can both make top four this season?
Chelsea, yeah, I think they should. I honestly think they should. The team, I think people could be like, oh no, they might not. With the team at the start of the season, they should have been doing so much better. They should have been doing how well they are now, because obviously, like all the players they have. And I think, yeah, he's obviously got the players playing much better. And I think they're fourth now. They're definitely above Liverpool now. So I think,
before the game started, Liverpool was 6th, Chelsea were 5th, but also Matthew just saying he never gets score predictions wrong.
That's facts.
And we both would say it would be a close one. I said if they'd win it by 1 goal. I mean,
yeah, I did. I think I said 2-1. I think. I said 2-1 Chelsea.
Same thing really, but
yeah, 1-0, 2-1.
Dan saying, do you think Werner will score 20 goals next season? Do you think he'll step up his game?
Not heard of Timothy Werner before, isn't he?
Good old spell, I presume that's autocorrect. But yeah, do you think he's going to adapt a bit more? Because that's been the excuse so far, that he's just struggling to adapt.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a little short bloke, doesn't he? He is quite short, quite quick. He looks more like a winger. I don't really think I could go out and actively say, yeah, he's going to score 20 goals next year, because that's quite a difficult thing to predict, because you don't know how well they're going to be doing. But yeah, I think he realistically. Do you think he could work better as a winger, or do you think he is a striker?
I feel with what we saw earlier in the season with Lampard playing him as a winger, I guess that's the system is different. He was okay as a winger, he wasn't great, but you also look at it, the way the formation that he's playing, Tuchel, seems to be like a 3-5-2. So I don't think he would have the opportunity to play as a winger really, because they'd have a full-back playing there, like they had Chilwell playing there today. So, Adam's saying he just isn't good enough. I think from what we've seen so far this season, I agree, he's not been good enough. Definitely not what anyone thought, coming from an easier league, the Bundesliga. But
I mean, Bundesliga is usually looked on as the second best one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, no, hold on. It's probably La Liga is probably the second best one.
But yeah, I agree. Him and Havertz haven't been as good as everyone thought. Daniel saying the top 4 of the season will be Man City, Chelsea, United, and Everton. Liverpool have finished this season in the Premier League, and Leicester he thinks have too many injuries. Would you agree with that? Do you think we could see, obviously Everton have done really well under Ancelotti, do you think they can achieve Europe this year?
I don't know. It really does depend, doesn't it? Like, if DCL gets the goals, if Richarlison gets the goals. I'm actually happy because I put Richarlison in my fantasy team, no one else did, and he's got me 2 goals, that's quite good. Anyway, yeah, obviously, I think they do rely quite a lot on James, because obviously they need him to make the chances, but I think after he's gone quite a little bit, Sigurdsson stepped up, sort of, and yeah, he's been performing pretty decently, to be fair, so it's not out of the picture, but I do think teams like, I don't know, West Ham are in for a shout of it, to be honest. I mean, I think they
make sure you
even
check out All Things West Ham video.
Yes, definitely slightly lacking on the views on that one.
Exactly. Yeah,
but yeah, I do think that it's going to be close between Everton and West Ham. It's really weird. It would be so weird seeing Everton or West Ham in the Champions League. Like, it just feels weird that would actually be a thing. But yeah, no, I do agree.
We also look at that when we spoke to Matt Selk video on our channel about Aston Villa. The fact that they've got these games in hand that can project them into Europe. Again, even Europa League, as we said, that would be a huge step for them. And I think it's just a really competitive league this season, which will be hard for Liverpool and Chelsea to get definite European spots. And I think, I mean, as well as the fact we're not even looking at Arsenal, which is being a shock because normally they're in the European conversation. But I think that's done for this season.
I mean, if I could touch on a little thing, I thought I just might as well let everyone know because it's quite funny. when we did the Matt Selt recording, usually Harry does like the intro for the videos, but this time I wrote the questions, so I was doing the intro. Obviously, you wouldn't see it because it's cut out, but I totally forgot what he was doing, so I did the intro, and I was like, "Hello, we're joined by a professional darts player, Matthew Selt." And then I said that, and Harry's like, "Snooker," and I was like, "Oh no," because I've just spoken to this like actual snooker player, and I just said he was a darts player. It was so embarrassing.
To be fair to him, like, he did take it like funny, and then that's why the comment, if you didn't understand at the end, he said, "I'm off for a tennis game now." That's what that was linked to, but obviously I edited that out at the start, so you wouldn't have known. But there's a bit of context.
Spare my
I don't know whether you saw before we started the stream. There was a controversial, not really, decision to not give a penalty to Liverpool with a Kante possible handball. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that, but they didn't really do many replays on it, so
no, I think it was quite quickly ruled out.
Yeah, it was ruled out. I mean, I couldn't really comment on it that further because I didn't really see it, to be honest.
I think I agree with the AR on it, because his hand, he didn't put his hand up to block it. His hand was already like this, and it just hit it. So it wasn't really. I don't think they could have given it for a penalty. Maybe earlier on in the season they might have done, but who really knows? Daniel's saying either Everton or West Ham coming fourth, Spurs to win the Carabao Cup, Liverpool to win the Champions League, and City to win the FA Cup and the Premier League. Do you think Liverpool can... Obviously, they've not done too badly in Europe compared to their form, in the Premier League.
Yeah, they've been alright in Europe.
Do you think they could get a Champions League this season?
Who, Liverpool?
Yeah, or do you think there's like other teams, obviously like Bayern are brilliant, and City will really want it?
I'm going to say no. I don't think it's possible, to be honest, especially for the better teams. I mean, you could even see the City getting there before Liverpool get there, to be honest. So I don't really think it's a chance for them, because obviously they've got just a lot of other teams that are doing really well. Obviously, I wanted to get your opinion, Harry. It's a little bit off topic. Oh wait, Robbie says the Kante handball. I reckon the VAR tried to make the decisions, even they couldn't give Liverpool 2 VAR decisions because they would be called biased.
Yeah, so basically he's saying that they couldn't have...
I presume you're talking about like referencing something to do with like the Luke Shaw thing, Robbie. I mean, say yes in chat if you are saying about that. But you know, like the thing where Luke Shaw said the referee didn't give it because he didn't want to cause controversy and say there was a bias or whatever.
Even though
I don't know
that was supposedly proved wrong, that Luke Shaw was basically either misheard or was lying. So...
Yeah. I mean, that's quite ironic, isn't it? They don't... I mean, it seems a bit dodgy to me.
Yeah, anyway, if we come back to that, Bobby, what were you saying before while we wait for Robbie to get back to...
Right, so I actually had a question for you. Mate, in going with England in the Euros, right, and obviously we have a solid choices at right back, who do you think gets in? Do you think Trent or Reece James gets in? And what do you think of Reece James? Do you think he's a good player?
It's going to be tough, I think. Last in the World Cup in Russia, that was a really difficult position, because obviously we had Trippier, there was Kyle Walker who ended up at centre-back. And now we've got Trent, who's been brilliant since the World Cup, really. This season's been a bit off, but he's a brilliant right-back. Reece James, I didn't really rate him too much before this season, but from the performances I've seen of Chelsea, he's played quite well. So he's got a shout at challenging. I'm sure certain people would say, what about Wan-Bissaka? I don't think he's good enough to beat any starting spot. So
I don't think he'll even get on the plane.
No, it's a really interesting position. I think if you want that pressing forward and then whipping in crosses, then definitely Trent. I think maybe if you want a bit more physical, then Reece James. But
yeah, I think you've definitely got to take Reece James, because I think he can actually play quite well in midfield as well. It's really difficult because England seems like we have so much to choose from.
Yeah.
But it feels like we have overpopulated in different positions. Like we've got Sancho, Grealish, Sterling, Rashford, all like really good wingers. You got Kane, Calvert-Lewin, Ings, really good strikers. We got really good fullbacks. You got Chilwell, you got Reece James, you got Trent, you got Wan-Bissaka, Trippier, but it's like in the middle. We lack the spine in the middle. Obviously, the centre backs, Harry Maguire. I mean, John Stones actually is a good shout. He's been really good this year. Harry Maguire is always he played alright for England, and he's actually everyone always takes the mick. Well, obviously, he's actually been quite good this season, and it's more in the middle. Like, do you put Declan Rice in there? Do you put Eric Dyer?
I don't think Eric Dyer should be in the midfield for England. He's been playing under Jose as a centre back.
Yeah,
he's played okay. Eric Dyer is not. He's good, but I think Declan Rice has got a bit more quality to him than Eric Dyer, really. So.
Do you think hopefully we have Henderson in there if he's not injury prone by that point?
I think Henderson would be a good person to have there. Mainly, he's a good leader as well. Obviously, you've got Maguire captaining him, but I don't think he will really be captain, especially after what happened all with Greece and everything. They might just want to stay away from any controversy and
probably give it to Kane, won't they?
Probably, yeah. I mean, Kane's a good shout. I think it's always a bit risky giving a striker the captaincy just because he's not seeing everything at all times necessarily in the best position, as maybe someone sat a bit further back like Henderson could be.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, we haven't got much time left on the stream, but if I was going to say, whether you saw that Klopp said in an interview, he kind of hinted at not stopping his players from going on international duty till the end of the season because of injuries. What do you think of that idea from Klopp? Do you think
that their injuries affected them a lot?
Or basically that he doesn't feel that international duty is the best idea for all of his players, or to limit their time on international duty, because with the injuries they've got so far, it's not really a great thing for them to be doing. It's
kind of difficult to say that, isn't it? Because every player wants to play for their country, and I don't think usually you don't restrict yourself because you want to play your best to get into the first team of your country. So I think maybe it's a little bit selfish from Klopp to say that, because he has to have his individual players more in mind, not just the team. So obviously reps in your country, like winning games in the Premier League and winning trophies is important, but playing for your country and playing in those tournaments is one of the most important things for a lot of players. So I think everyone's gonna. I mean, there's been so many injuries this season. It's been mental. Like the fixture is so packed up. It's quite difficult to avoid injuries. I mean, I think a few teams like Arsenal have actually been quite lucky with injuries. I mean, the only main ones we've really had are Thomas Partey, and he's been there, a little bit. But apart from that, it's been alright. And I think I do have to disagree. I think that players shouldn't just be rested just in case of that, because they do want to play for their country.
Adam saying, like the stream, remember we said, you might not have seen it, but we said in the first stream, if you get 10 likes on the stream, we will consider a merch giveaway, a limited edition merch giveaway.
The merch that we don't have.
Yeah, that we haven't got yet, but we will think about it. Dan put, here's a real question, are Forest making the top 6 in the Championship?
Are they, Harry?
No, not this season.
The push is on. Newton's Army is going for top 6 now.
No, probably not. This season, I think next season, maybe. But that's a thing for another day. The real question is, when is the giveaway? We like to last stream 10 times. I haven't seen that. Luke said that.
Luke stands up, says nothing, and then the first thing is, when's the giveaway, lads?
Well, if you like this one 10 times, we will consider it, alright? Is there a 10? I can't see that at the moment. We'll come back to you guys. We'll put a post on the Instagram or the story, and we'll decide as a team whether that is going to happen or not. I'm
saying I think we should bump it up to 15. 15's a better number.
15. If there's already 10, 15's a better challenge.
Exactly.
We'll come back with another stream. Obviously, the time's about to run out. It's very likely to run out on our Zoom call soon. So I'd just like to say thank you.
Probably wants to. Oh shit, we're running out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of time. So we will answer any questions if you want. Send us messages on the Instagram, and we'll get back to you. Or you can just carry on in the chats, and we'll maybe try and answer them. Or go in the comments of the video when this gets uploaded. But thank you for watching. It's nice to see people have come back after our amazing fault, which, by the way, just going to cover, was all down to these.
That was really annoying.
Being picked up, or was trying to be picked up by this microphone. So we will be back with more live streams soon. It's been good getting this reaction. I think maybe we'll bring more reactions. Adam's just trying to push for the merch now. But thank you everybody for watching. This has been the final whistle.
Thank you very much, lads.